on the ignorance of what communism has done all of my life. And I have theories on it, but I'll wait for later. The other is, amazingly, I am just as passionate about not going to college. When, in fact, often when somebody calls my radio show and makes a particularly intelligent point, I will say, did you go to college? And they'll say, why are you asking? And I'll say, because I assume that someone making such a logical point did not go to college. They're laughing here, Miriam, because they know it's true. You don't laugh at something that doesn't make sense. So anyway, I want you to know I resonate to both aspects. So let me ask you a very serious and potentially depressing question. I ask this of people who have come from communist backgrounds. Do you see, and only answer what you believe, not what you think I want to hear, do you see parallels in America today to the development of communism in Russia earlier and in East Europe later?
Oh yes, unfortunately, yes, I see, and I dread what I see. It comes closer and closer to that terrible reality of communism. The main point is that the person loses value, but it's only the slogans, it's only the ideology that rules, and the rulers that rule and the simple people have no value whatsoever. Their needs and their rights are completely discarded. And I see it coming closer and closer. I've been worried about it for many years now. I've been in the United States for many years, and it's getting worse.
Well, I obviously, I had a feeling you would answer that. I visited communist countries a great deal, but I never obviously lived there. And the parallels are very frightening.
Yes.
I'll give an example and tell me how you react to this. I feel that the communists in Russia, then Soviet Union, used the workers to gain power. They used the workers. They didn't care about workers. And I see the same thing with the Democrats in America, that they use blacks. They don't really give a damn about blacks. If that's too strong, tell me.
That's the truth. They use my thesis was that blacks would benefit from apprenticeship, but nobody allows that. They dread blacks to gain knowledge and gain independence. They want everybody dependent on the Democratic Party handouts. That's the major objective of the Democratic Party. They don't want blacks to succeed. And indeed, we see now that all the important people, all the important blacks are being removed from the internet. Their words are being removed and discarded.
Well, go ahead. Okay, so
yeah.
let me give you an example that many of you here may not be aware of. And that is that Amazon has taken down this magnificent documentary autobiography of Clarence Thomas. It is not available on Amazon. This is a justice of the United States Supreme Court, and you can't get his own documentary on Amazon.
Yes, I was worried. I just read it in the Wall Street Journal, and it hurt. It really hurt me how they discard the blacks that are successful and could serve as a model for their youth. They don't want them to serve as models. They don't want the black youth to become enlightened. They want them criminal and they want them dependent on the Democratic Party.
Well, they want us all, as you pointed out, dependent on the Democratic Party. Does it, this is a strange question, but does it drive you a little crazy? I will admit it drives me crazy, and I did not suffer the Gulag. Does it drive you crazy how little the world knows about communist atrocities?
The world knows little about everything, but they especially avoid knowing about the evils of communism. They discard it. They don't let it be seen. And I lived under communism, and I saw how the human being is totally degraded, totally helpless and powerless. When we talk in the United States, we need a court to make somebody guilty. We want a unanimous court if it's a death punishment. My father tried to organize in the Gulag, tried to organize Yom Kippur prayers, the holiest Jewish holiday, to organize prayers for that. And his superior called him in and he said, either the punishment for your desire is rastrelat, to kill you. And they can kill anybody that the superior has absolute power to kill anybody he wants in the Gulag, of course. And also in the kolkhoz that I was, the commune, the collective commune, the punishment is immediate and not that there is no need for a court. The superior, the manager has all the power he needs to degrade people and to kill people, to send them to Siberia, to send them to 5,000 kilometers away. It's just absolutely, people are absolutely powerless.
When the Soviet Union collapsed, the Berlin Wall came down, if somebody would have said to you, now freedom will prevail in the world, would you have said, don't be naive, or were you optimistic?
I hoped that this would happen, that freedom would finally arrive to the whole world, but it didn't. To my absolute horror, I saw that nothing changes. And the Soviet Union is still as horrible as it was. And now China is rising up with much more power, much more evil. As we see that plague that they unleashed on the world, and they're not blamed for it even. They're blameless.
That is entirely accurate. If the flu had begun in Wisconsin, I promise you it would be known as the Wisconsin flu. The Wisconsin virus. That's exactly right. But now, if you call it the Wuhan virus, which is what it was called in the beginning, like Hong Kong flu and Spanish flu, but now you cannot do this any longer. It is part of the control of language. So tell us now about the second part. You really have two fantastic missions. One is to let the world know about what you and tens of millions of others endured under communism, and the other is these vocational schools. So what exactly would you like to see created? What needs to be done to do so? And will it take a lot of money? What do you anticipate?
It's not the money. It's just that people in power, and now the universities and even the private companies are all in cahoots. They all promote communism and socialism, and they want China to rule rather than America. It frightens me. It frightens me.
So tell us about the vocational school project.
The vocational school, the tests that I worked with proved that black men would be more successful in their working life if they started up at a higher position rather than being powerless, totally ignorant, and that would make them into better achievers in their later lives. So that giving an apprenticeship to a man like that puts him on the right track to success in life. And I didn't understand that there were many people before me that found that and claimed that, and it's completely ignored, and nobody does anything to promote it.
And why do you think that is? People just think that the
communist bug got into every university and infected all of them, and they are sitting there and preaching all their communist, I don't want to say the word, and
you all said it.
And I'll tell you that the schools now, even not only the universities, but the schools, the lower schools, even kindergarten is affected by this communist bug. And it's a great danger to the West.
Well, they hate the West. You know, the University of Pennsylvania, they took down Shakespeare's picture at the English department because he was white European male. So there's now a picture of a non-white lesbian poet that because it's not what you write that matters, it's your identity. You are doing great work. What would you like us to do to help you?
I am not doing. Maria is the one that came up. Oh, Maria is the one.
All right, we'll ask Maria later. That's fair. You're obviously the inspiration. So I'm going to give my talk. Miriam, you are a light to all of us, and it's
thank you very much.
That there's a menorah behind you, which is a source of light as you are. So, put.org.
Thank you.
Wonderful. You did wonderful. I know. You did so well.
this right? Do I bring my own microphone? That is a first.